Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas welcoming you to the MGM Grand here on the Vegas Strip in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada for a much-anticipated main event. 12 rounds of heavyweight action between these two great warriors. Bad Intentions has got his eye on the prize. He has complete focus on his ring walk here. Evander Holyfield's approaching the ring now, and this ring walk can tell you so much. Look at the focus on his face.
All right, fellas, let's have a good, clean fight. Touch him up and let's go.
And we are underway for this scheduled 12-rounder. Teddy, most of the fighters that you train throughout your career are guys that could be described as these guys that really will bring it and are able to do it throughout the whole fight and go the distance. What's the mental makeup of a guy like that?
Confidence. He's been there before. He's sure that he can do it.
Holyfield with a block. A good, clean, old 1-2 by Real Deal. Lands the counter. Right back to the gut. Halfway through this round. A little defense turns to offense by Real Deal. And in round number 1, you already get the sense that they have no intentions of this fight going the distance. What do you think is most misunderstood about the heavyweight division?
I think it's human nature for people to see these big Goliaths, that they start to think that, hey, they're more sure of themselves. That these guys have more of an abundance of security about themselves, about confidence. And really, it's the opposite. In some ways, these big giants, they're really unsure of themselves because they know they can do damage. They're also worried about damage being done to them.
Not well targeted by Bad Intentions. A nice block by Real Deal. There's the headshot, but he parries it away. Well done that time, landing the counter punch. End of the round here, a round that saw a lot of action, the kind of round that fans pay to be here to see.
Well, these are TV-friendly fighters, and we figured that coming in.
Wait for him.
Hey, don't get careless, okay? Don't fight his fight. Don't worry about it. The swelling is nothing. Just focus on the fight.
Here we go. Round 2 is underway.
Move your feet.
Fine looking combination from him now.
Well, that's the benefit of combination punching right there, Joe. The first couple missed, but the third, the fourth, they landed.
Side to side.
Super 2-punch combo by Real Deal. Tried to land that upstairs and was off the mark.
In and out, in and out.
Well done that time, landing the counter punch. Halfway through round number 2. Oh, very nice. Smart counter punch there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You make the guy miss, you make him pay.
A big hook to the head by Bad Intentions. Not precise at all by Bad Intentions. Bad Intentions is a pro, but he's not a well-rounded pro because a better level of fighter would be committing to the body more here, wouldn't he, Teddy?
Yeah, well, first of all, he would recognize that that's where he's supposed to be going now that his opponent, is taken off a little bit with those fast shoes. No better way to take those shoes off his feet than to go downstairs.
There's no need to be on the inside.
That's a good block by Real Deal. Oh, he just misses with that headshot. Just 10 seconds to go here in the second round. So the round comes to an end. Joe and Teddy here ringside, and we've been enjoying sitting ringside because, Teddy, I know you have some of your fine guests from the Dr. Theodore Atlas Charitable Foundation with us here tonight.
And they're having a great night, and it's great to have them here. The thing that I want to say is thank you to all the people that help us, help many. They trust us. They allow us to be the middleman to give out the resources where they're needed. Thank you for mentioning Joe, and thank you to all the people that help us do what we do.
And round number 3 is underway. Digs in with a good solid uppercut after taking one. Good job by drawing in his opponent and then landing the counterpunch by Bad Intentions. Boy, that's a heck of a job there, landing a 3-punch combination. A little defense turns to offense by Real Deal. How is he taking? Wow! Bad Intentions is in a bad place right now. He was tagged.
All right, come on, guys. Work it out, no holding.
Reaching the halfway mark of this round. Good looking two-punch combination there. Able to dismiss his opponent's shot and then comes back with an uppercut. And a good counter by Real Deal. Evander Holyfield's quickly taking control of this fight early on with one single weapon of choice, and that is the jab.
Yeah, the jab at the right time. He's catching his opponent every time he starts coming in before he can get started.
Oh, he just misses with that headshot. His opponent wanted the body. He wouldn't give it to him. Seconds to go in this third round. Holy cow! He is not in good shape. He could be on the deck in moments. Coming to the end of this round. Joe and Teddy with you ringside. Teddy, a round like that where it's a lot of busy activity and both guys being busy. When you were a trainer, are those the kind of rounds that you prefer, or do you like the pace to be a little slower? Does it depend on each guy?
No, if I have a fight, I'd rather have a guy fighting a guy that you never see him. Leave me the heck alone. And where I'm in control all the time. But the fans love to see a fight like that.
Stay away from the inside.
Blocks the headshot. Bad intentions is almost as if he's scared to throw punches right now, that he's just thinking strictly about defense after being tagged earlier in this fight.
Well, he needs some help in his corner. That's where a good corner comes in right now. They have to straighten his mind out right now. They have to give him another way of attack. They have to give him a plan B.
Targeted counterpunch by Bad Intentions. Nice job to land that counterpunch and getting away from one of his own by Real Deal. Holyfield's got it down pat. Straight is great. Straight punch wins.
Yeah, especially when your opponent is standing straight in front of you.
.90 seconds to go here in this round. Oh, Bad Intentions is in a bad spot right now. He's been stunned. Oh, look at that. He's hurt. But hey, I give him credit. He's smart enough to know what to do now.
Yeah, the referee needs a crowbar to separate him.
Very nice defensive guard there. He took a shot, but he gives one of his own. A left hand scores.
Come on, side to side.
Good block by Real Deal. A well-placed, gutsy uppercut after being tagged. Blocked by Holyfield. Final 10 seconds. Good block there by Bad Intentions. So the round comes to its conclusion, and it's a round in which our man here, as he heads back, was really tagged pretty solid. So if you're the trainer in the corner, what's your approach?
Well, you know, that's a great question. My approach is that I have to remind him that he's on common ground. he's probably going to think he's in a place where he's never been before, but I'm going to remind him, hey, remember you got hurt in the gym? And then give him something to correct the problem. You know, tell him some technical things that he needs to hear.
Comes right back with a shot of his own. Well, I don't know if he's hip to the idea of becoming a counterpuncher, but I get the sense you'd agree with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got the perfect platform, the perfect form for it. The guy's walking in right now, not moving his head much. He can time him, he can counter him.
He's got his guard up really well that time, and it protects his head. On the mark, the counter punch by Bad Intentions. Every gym's got one of those double-ended bats, right? They give you the movement, you got to hit that moving target, work on your accuracy. He's making it so that his opponent never had to work on one, Teddy. He's just sitting right there, right in front, no head movement whatsoever.
No, not at all. He didn't have one in his gym, that's for sure, because he just does not know how to move his head. The old timers would say he gets insulted if you miss him.
Comes right back with some offense of his own. Wow, just sit back and enjoy this one. You can tell both guys are so determined to give everything they have here tonight.
So it's like the first time you heard Ray Charles sing God Bless America. You knew it was special. You knew you hadn't heard it before. I haven't seen anything like this before.
Very clean offense from defense by Bad Intentions. What guts it takes, what commitment it takes to keep up with this kind of a pace. The action's been nonstop.
Now, the one thing I can tell you is this is where you don't worry about pace. You don't think about pace. Otherwise, you could not be doing what these guys are doing. They're just going round to round.
Coming to the end of round number 5, last 10 seconds. Oh, that's good stuff. Firing right back with one of his own. Good work by Evander Holyfield. I don't know, Teddy. It just feels like one of those nights, one of those fights where somebody's getting hurt, where this is not going to the judges' scorecards.
I feel like I'm in Coney Island watching one of those hot dog eating contests where somebody's going to try to eat 50 of them, 60 of them. In other words, he's not worried how he's going to feel at the end of the night.
Well-placed shot after landing there again. Targeted counter punch by Real Deal. Shape. He could be on the deck in moments. Real Deal's mounting a comeback here, Teddy. Thinks we're going against him. Now the tide is turned.
Good things come to those who wait or those who persevere. He persevered, good things are happening.
And a good counter by Bad Intentions. Halfway through this round here. Return to sender with the left hand.
with the hook. Hook. Keep working the body.
Blocks that punch. Good block by Real Deal. Able to counter that attack.
Keep working the jab.
Working our way towards the bell. Last 10 seconds of the 6th.
Keep moving around the middle.
Good way to protect the midsection. Well, if the second half of this fight is anything like the first half we just witnessed, then oh boy, is it going to be fun watching this fight down the stretch.
And I don't think it can change. These guys came here with a certain attitude, a certain mindset, and it's not going to be able to change now. There's no way of all of a sudden in mid-fight being able to go to a defensive fight or a different strategy. What you see is what you get, and you're going to get it the rest of the night.
Well-targeted double jab by Bad Intentions. I'm wondering what the opposing corner is going to do here. They got to their man earlier. They were able to rock him, and really nothing's changed. He's showing them the same exact look, the same exact style that he came here with.
Well, first of all, the opponent should keep doing what he's doing. You know, you're landing, you found something that's working, stay with it until he changes.
Comes right back at him with a left hand. They trade shots. He comes back with a right hand. This is great stuff. I mean, great stuff. Bringing it every which way they are.
Joe, you remember the time you were on a vacation, you saw that perfect sunset?
Oh, yeah.
It was just beautiful. This is beautiful.
What a good counterpunch by Real Deal. And coming upon the halfway mark of this 3-minute round. Nice block by Real Deal. He has found his groove with this right hand. Able to cover up that gut. Took a shot, now he gives a left. Staying away from those headshots with his defense up top. You can see there's blood on his cheek. And now another left. Undoubtedly, the most effective element of his entire arsenal tonight is his jab. He's so committed to fighting on the outside, and he's jabbing away beautifully.
Well, Customato used to tell me, Teddy, when you're in doubt, jab. Well, this fighter, when he's been in doubt, he's jabbed. When he's been sure of himself, he's jabbed. As you said, he's made a jab fest of this all night long.
And a smart counterpunch by Bad Intentions. Here's one for you now, he says. Right back with the left hand. The end to another very entertaining round in what has been a very entertaining fight. A fight where there's just bad intentions. The fight that just doesn't have the feel of a fight that's going to be a decision win for somebody. Looks like somebody's going to get stopped.
Right from the beginning, they've been fighting with desperation. Like going the decision, as you just touched on, has not been in their minds at all.
Keeps his hands up defensively, protecting the head. Takes one to give one. He comes back with a right hand. Oh, Evander Holyfield stunned, and he is hurt. He's going around now, Teddy, like his legs are made out of wet noodles.
Yeah, and my mother was boiling the water because she used to make sure that that water boiled and boiled, was never al dente. These legs are not al dente.
He went from almost being knocked out to being right back in it. Wow, is he defensively sound. Good defensive skill. Holyfield's eye is now cut. That could be a real detriment. To go in a round that feels like an all-time classic. Punch for punch, they're meeting each other. Devastating blow by Real Deal. Teddy, this is one of those moments where you just wish you could pick up the phone and call up the world and say, tune in. Everybody should be watching this, right?
I have a cell phone. I might do that right now.
Start dialing. Oh, he took some damage, but he gave some back with the right hand. Good, clean shot, returning fire. Well done by Evander Holyfield. We come to the end of this round. Teddy, a round in which maybe a lot of trainers don't like to see because it was a very busy round for both guys.
Well, it depends what kind of style, what kind of strength your fighter has, or even what kind of weaknesses. If I had a guy who likes to box, who likes to counterpunch, I want a guy coming at him. Not with a lot of TNT in his gloves, but coming forward where my guy is well suited. He can pick him off a little bit.
Good job protecting himself. And once again, he returns fire up top. He has reached that point in the fight where his only chance is to cash in and hit lotto here. He needs that grand slam, that big knockout punch, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he doesn't have a pen in his hand where he can fill out the numbers, but he does have a couple fists. And what he's going to have to do is find a specific place to aim a shot. Look for one moment, one spot.
Good return fire that time. Keeps his hands up defensively, protecting the head. Covers up nicely, gets rid of his opponent's body shot. come to the end of the round. A round that I'm having a tough time trying to think about who won. I can only imagine what the judges are thinking about. Teddy, if there's one thing you look for in a round like that and say, okay, I'm going to give it to this guy over this guy, what is it?
Well, the first thing is, if I'm a judge, I take a little notepad and I make a little mark down blue and red corner what he did early. Because sometimes a judge has a tendency to forget what was done early and only go with what went late.
Good defense upstairs to stay away from that offensive assault. Good block there by Bad Intentions. Blocks that belt line well. What a fight. What a great, great, non-stop action fight this has been. Took a shot, now he gives a left. Holyfield's cheek is cut. You can see it's opening up now. Boy, that could be a factor later on. Holyfield blocks that punch. Good stuff in the opening 2 minutes. A minute to go in this round. Well done that time, landing the counter punch. Able to cover up along the belt line, blocks that one. Very nice defensive guard there. End of the round here. You can see the fans really enjoying themselves tonight. You know, Teddy, I think maybe more so than any other sport, boxing fans are not just passionate like other sports, but they are smart and savvy. They know the game inside and out.
Well, they follow the contestants. They do understand the parameters of the game. And you know what? They come here and they kind of demand from those fighters the performance that they expect from them. If they expect a guy to box, you hear them every once in a while saying, hey, come on, you know, let's get that jab working. They act like coaches sometimes.
Nice block by Bad Intentions. They both decide to bring it. A little defense turns to offense by Real Deal. dismiss it. Oh, Evander Holyfield stunned and staggered. Wow! Evander Holyfield's gone down. How will he recover from this? He went down from a big shot. Now he's got to have some big guts to move along.
You're going to find out exactly what he's made of.
Good block by Bad Intentions. That's a good block by Real Deal. Got to try to do better than that. He missed with that hook. Keeping his hands up, getting rid of his opponent's offense. Round comes to an end. Knockdown was scored in that round. So, Teddy, you're working the corner of the guy who was just on the floor. What are you telling him?
You're telling him that if he's been down before, you want to actually use that for posture. I know that sounds crazy, but you say, hey, you've been here before. You've overcome it. You want to remind him that he can get back. And then the most important thing, Joe, is you tell him why he got dropped. So when he goes out there, he's not just scared going into a dark place saying, gee, it's going to happen again. He knows he has control.
A nice block by Bad Intentions. Good block by Real Deal. Nice block by Real Deal. So swiftly able to turn defense into offense. Nice counter punch.
And what you're noticing here is his opponent is starting to be a little wary of letting his jab go, because every time he jabs, he gets caught.
Evander Holyfield's showing us that he is willing to stick with the game plan. But Teddy, that game plan saw him knocked down earlier in this fight. What would you be telling him?
You know, in some ways I tell him good, because you have to go with what you have. You know, you can't completely change. That's not possible in the course of the fight. You are who you are. So it's not the game plan necessarily, Joe, or the style that's wrong. It's the execution of the game plan. That has to be done better.
Halfway through what is one of the best rounds you'll ever see. Just great action.
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, if you love roller coasters, you go to an amusement park. If you want to see left hooks, right hands, every direction, great chins, great endurance, great heart, you come to this fight. You stay right here.
Well done by both men to fire off those right hands. Able to get rid of that one. Send it up to the ring at the end of this fight to hear what the judges had to say. Bad Intentions is your winner by unanimous decision, Teddy.
Well, the question from the beginning was, could he get inside and make it his kind of fight?